everyone. Have you ever wondered about making bread? Well, recently someone gave me a bag of starter mix so that I could make Amish friendship bread. I had never done it before, so I was a little bit nervous, but they gave me the instructions to go along with it, and I found it was much easier than doing some of the more traditional sourdough breads because there's no kneading or yeast or any of that involved. So I gave it a go. And now we're on day 10 and I'm ready to make my bread. But to get to here, the first day I was given this and I did absolutely nothing with it. Then for the next 4 days, I mushed it. That's all I had to do was mix it up, just mushing it all together. On day 6, my instructions told me to add some flour, some milk, and some sugar. So I did that, and then for the next 3 days, I mushed it. So now today is day 10, and I'm ready to make my bread. So I've got my starter mix. I'm gonna add some more flour, some more milk, and some more sugar to it, and I'm gonna put all of that into a big bowl. And that's gonna give me about 5 cups worth. I'm gonna take 4 of those cups, and I'm going to take them out 1 cup at a time and put them into a Ziploc bag. That's going to give me 3 starter mixes that I can give to friends so they can make bread, and then I'm going to keep 1 of those starter bags to start my 10-day process over again. So I had 5 cups, I took out 4, so I've got 1 cup still in my bag, or in my bowl. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to add all of my other ingredients. So I've got some sugar, some oil, some flour, some cinnamon, some milk, baking powder and baking soda, some vanilla, some vanilla jello pudding, just the powder mix, and then a tiny little bit of salt and 3 eggs. I'm going to put all of that in my bowl and I'm going to mix it up. And because my daughters love banana bread, I've also got some bananas. So I'm going to put about 1.5 banana in each loaf. And I've got my loaf pans and I'm going to make 2 loaves. So every 10 days, you're going to keep 1 starter bag for yourself to start that 10-day process over again. And then you're going to use 1 cup of that, add it to all of your ingredients, mix it up and put it in your loaf pans and cook them in the oven for about an hour. So let's get started. Okay, we are ready to get started making our bread. So the first thing we're going to do is we have put our 10-day-old starter into our mixing bowl, and we're going to add 3 ingredients right now. So I'm going to let my assistant, my daughter Catherine, help. So we've got milk, pour that in there. Okay, then we have some flour. It's about 1.5 cups of each of the 3 things. Put that in there. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to put in there is 1.5 cups of sugar. Okay, you can get our whisk right there, and Catherine is going to help mix our 3 ingredients into our starter. So while she's doing that, I have gotten our bags ready, because as I mentioned, this is going to create 5 cups of our starter. We're going to put 1 cup in each of our 4 bags, leaving 1 cup in the bowl. And then we're going to add all of the rest of our ingredients and then bake. Okay, so once she's done mixing, we're going to put that in the bags. So we're going to take 1 cup of our starter mix and put 1 cup in each of our 4 bags. Go ahead and scoop me up 1 cup. 1 cup. Yeah, make sure it's full. There you go. Put this in this bag. Okay, so I'm going to set that first bag to the side. Next one. Make sure you get all out of the cup. Good job. Okay, go ahead and scoop up another one. So this is something that your kids can help you with. It's very easy. There's no kneading the bread or any of that stuff, and there's not a lot of work for the 10 days. 1 more cup. Okay. Just put that in the bowl. Okay, so we've got our 4 starter bags. I'm going to keep one of them for myself. So I'm going to seal it up tight. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other 3 bags that I have. And I'm going to label each one of them with today's date and saying that it's day 1. And then I have 3 bags that I can give to friends, coworkers, or other people who might want to make some Amish friendship bread. So I will do that, and I'll give them a copy of the instructions so they know what to do for the 10-day process before they make bread. And we've got about 1 cup or so left of our starter mix. So now we're going to add all of our other ingredients to it to make our bread. Let's get started. Okay, so now we've got all of our ingredients out and ready to go, and now we're going to start making our bread. So I'm going to tell Catherine what to put in the bowl. So can you start with our 3 eggs over there? Okay. Next, we're going to put that in the sink. We're going to have our 1 cup of oil right there. You just go ahead and keep pouring it, and then we'll mix it up. Okay, just put that right here. So when I need to put my whisk somewhere, I have somewhere to put it. I'm going to put my 1/2 cup of milk in here as well. Get my 1 cup of sugar. Go ahead and dump it in there. Okay, let's put that down. And next is my cinnamon right here. I've got 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Okay, we're going to do 1/2 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon right here, so I'm going to do 2 of them. Okay. And then next our baking powder right there. Okay. And then we have about 1/2 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Just about 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. Or you just put a little bit, we're not going to put much in there. And then we're going to have our 2 cups of flour. So either one of those, pour them on in here.
1.
Okay.
2. That's a lot of flour.
Okay. And then last but not least, we have our box of vanilla flavored pudding. Okay, so we now have all of our ingredients. We're just going to mix it up really good, get all the stuff off the side, make sure we've got all of that mixed. If it clumps up, just kind of knock your whisk down to get all of it there. Back in that bowl, we're just going to mix it. You don't have to use a hand mixer for this. You can just literally use your hand. So that's one of the things I liked about this bread. It didn't require you to have a KitchenAid or any expensive type of equipment. All I needed was a good bowl, some measuring cups and measuring spoons, and a whisk and some loaf pans, and we were good to go. Okay, so we've got our mix now. We are just ready to put it in our loaves. So what we're going to do, because my daughters like bananas, we're going to make some banana bread. So we're going to cut up some bananas and put that in here. And then all we're going to do is pour them into our loaf pans, which we have greased, and stick them in the oven at 325 degrees for about an hour. So the recipe that I have calls it an Amish cinnamon bread. So one of the things that they suggest doing is once you grease it, is putting some sugar and putting some cinnamon. Just about 1/2 cup of sugar and about 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon in a bowl. Mix that up. Put about 1/2 or 1/4 of that in this pan, and then 1/4 of it in the bottom of the pan. Then you're going to put your starter mix on top of that, and then you can cover the bread with the rest of the cinnamon. So it's just going to give you a nice layer on top and a nice layer on the bottom with kind of a cinnamon sugar taste. So if you love cinnamon or cinnamon bread, then it's great. My daughters just love plain banana bread, so that's just what we're going to do. So we're going to get our bananas cut up, get them in our mix, pour them, and then bake them, and we'll show you what we end up with.
Okay. First, you need a banana and a butter knife. And then you peel.
Cut that in half. No, you're fine. Keep going. You want to get small little pieces. So she's just cutting out little chunks and then cutting them into smaller chunks, because when you mix it up, you don't want to get a big, huge bite of banana in your bread. You want it kind of small and kind of thin. Okay. Let me see your knife for a second. Okay. I like just using a simple butter knife, you know, with children, so that way they can go fast. You don't have to worry about them cutting their hands or anything like that. So just cutting them into little pieces, the smaller the better, because that way it will bake up a little bit easier. And okay.
Someone can put it in for you.
Yeah, so she's going to cut them, and then I'm going to grab them, put them in. So you always want to make sure your hands are clean if you're doing something like this, especially if you were dealing with raw eggs like we were a little bit ago, because raw eggs can have salmonella. So anytime you crack some eggs or mix some eggs or do anything with eggs, you want to make sure that you immediately go wash your hands so you can get any of those germs or anything else off. What we're going to do is we're going to cut up about 3 bananas. I'm going to open the next one for her so she can go ahead and get started cutting it. And we're going to mix it all up, and then we're going to pour it into our 2 loaf pans. So that'll be about a banana and a half in each of the loaf pans. That's just about what the girls said they liked. The first time we made it, we only put 1 banana, and it didn't taste. You didn't taste it as much, and they really love that banana taste. But it's something that you can figure out. If you like nuts, like you want a banana nut bread, you can always put nuts in it as well. Just again, making sure they're kind of small. Making sure that if you're going to be giving the bread away to anyone, that you haven't, you don't give it to anyone who has a nut allergy. Making sure that you're aware of any allergies for anyone that you might be serving it in. That's why it's also good when I give my starter breads to everyone. I'm going to give them the instructions. So they're going to know what ingredients are in this mix and what they need to make it. But one of the good things about this is you can see most of this stuff I already had around my house. If you're baking in any kind, you have flour, you have sugar, you know, you have vanilla, you have, I had baking soda or baking powder, I had milk. The only thing that I didn't have was the box of vanilla pudding mix. So it just adds a little extra flavor. Okay, so we've got our bananas in our mix and we have put it into our loaf pans. You might have to get a spatula to make sure that you can get all of it out of your bowl, because the whisk can only get so much. Again, you're going to put half of the bowl in one of the loaf pans and the other half in another loaf pan, just to try to make it as even as you can. And remember, the ingredients say if you want to put some cinnamon and some sugar on top to give it a different kind of flavor or layer at the top, then you're more than welcome to do that. We're just not going to do that in our recipe. I have my oven ready to go at 325 degrees. So I'm going to put both of them in here. It's going to take about an hour for them to cook, and then we're going to be ready to eat our banana bread. Hopefully you have seen that this is something that you can make. I'm going to put all of the ingredients and all of the steps online with our video, and we can all get started making our bread. Enjoy!